The story of human history begins with small bands of early humans learning to survive on open landscapes where every day depended on fire, tools, and cooperation. These early groups spread across Africa and slowly into the wider world following animals, seasons, and coastlines. They used stone tools, shared food, cared for children together, and built the first tiny sparks of culture. Over tens of thousands of years, these communities grew better at shaping stone, making clothing, and remembering important knowledge through stories. As the Ice Ages shifted, people followed warmer routes and reached every major region of Earth. Around river valleys, lakes, and fertile plains, small camps became seasonal settlements where people stayed longer and learned to plant early crops. Agriculture created the first real surplus, and surplus allowed larger villages to form around shared labor, storage, and protection. In Mesopotamia, Egypt, the Indus Valley in China, farming supported thousands of people living side by side for the first time. These early cities built walls, roads, canals, and temples that required organized leadership and long-term planning. Writing systems appeared to track harvests, goods, land, and religious duties, giving us the first recorded history. Bronze tools and weapons changed everything by making farming easier, trade wider, and armies more powerful. Large kingdoms rose and fell as rulers tried to control trade routes, farmland, and neighboring regions. In the Mediterranean, Phoenician sailors connected faraway cultures through shipping networks and new forms of exchange. On the islands of Greece, small city-states experimented with different governments, including early democracy and military rule. The Persian Empire linked vast territories with roads and bureaucracy, showing how large an organized state could become. Alexander the Great spread Greek language and ideas across 3 continents before his empire fractured into successor kingdoms. Rome began as a small city, but expanded into a massive empire unified by law, engineering, roads, and a professional army. At the same time, powerful civilizations thrived in Africa, the Middle East, India, and East Asia with their own technologies and philosophies. China's dynasties built large-scale systems like the Great Wall, civil service exams, and advanced metallurgy that shaped East Asian history forever. In India, empires like the Maurya and Gupta supported mathematics, astronomy, and new religious traditions that spread outward for centuries. Across the Americas, societies like the Maya, Aztec, and Inca built cities, calendars, and complex networks adapted to mountains, jungles, and plains. After the fall of Rome, Europe shifted into a patchwork of smaller kingdoms and trade networks, while the Islamic Golden Age advanced science, medicine, and navigation. New inventions like the compass and improved ships launched an age of long-distance exploration that connected the world in unprecedented ways. Colonial expansion reshaped continents through trade, conquest, disease, and forced migration on a massive scale. The Renaissance revived art, science, and learning in Europe, powered by printing presses that spread ideas farther and faster than ever before. The scientific revolution introduced a method for understanding nature through observation, measurement, and experiment. The Enlightenment challenged old political systems with arguments for rights, liberty, and representative government. Industrialization transformed work by replacing human and animal labor with machines powered by steam, coal, and later electricity. Cities expanded rapidly as factories produced goods for growing global markets. Railroads, telegraphs, and later radio and film created faster communication and a shared sense of time and news across societies. The 19th and 20th centuries saw new nations formed, old empires dissolve, and global conflicts like World War I and World War II reshaped borders and alliances. These wars accelerated the development of aviation, computing, medicine, and nuclear technology. After 1945, the Cold War divided much of the world into competing political and economic systems. decolonization movements created dozens of new independent states across Africa, Asia, and the Middle East. Computers shrank from room-sized machines to personal devices and eventually to smartphones carried everywhere. The internet linked billions of people, creating new kinds of communication, culture, and economic activity. Globalization expanded trade networks, supply chains, and shared scientific knowledge at a pace never seen before. Modern medicine increased lifespan, while education spread to more of the world's population. The 21st century introduced artificial intelligence, large-scale data, genetics, and renewable energy as new forces shaping daily life and global challenges. Humanity now faces interconnected issues like climate change, resource management, and technological transformation. The story of history is a story of increasing connection between people, tools, ideas, and environments. Each generation builds on the lessons of the last, carrying forward everything that survived selection across time. And the next chapter of this long human journey will be written by the systems we design, the choices we make, and the futures we create together.